Hello YouTube, how you doing? Destroyer here, doing another video for Heroes of Old Chaos, and today I am bringing you the in-game build for Kotun. Well, the remastered in-game build for Kotun. Yes. So Kotun, if you don't know him, he is kind of like a bruiser, but people use him more as a carry. So let's get in on this and start building him. So my last build, as y'all know, was more of a tanky type bruiser, just a lot of damage, not a lot of attack speed. Things have switched so much in the game that Kotun is phenomenal as a attack speed carry, and this is how we're going to use him. So when I start, I always love starting with Squire's Patience. So we're going to buy 2 of these like we're in the beginning of the match. After that, I typically buy a Face Breaker to maximize my early base damage. Then I buy a Boots of Haste so I can get the Scout Ward just to check my back and put them in a couple places so I'd be able to jump in and see where my enemies are. After this, I typically buy another Face Breaker, or if I'm running low on money, I'll buy a Serpentine Pike. Now, this is where your build can change. Either you can build the bow first, or you can build the Jade Axe. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Jade Axe, but with Kotun in this build, the Jade Axe is necessary because we are adding a lot of attack speed to him. So let's go ahead and finish off. We'll build that Jade Axe, and as you can see, the Jade Axe, the reason we're doing it is for the damage, and it reduces enemies' physical defense by 10. The reason we're getting this item so early is because nobody will really have defense at this time, especially mages and carries, and we want to be in there and get that 1 or 2 hits that we're going to be able to with that reduction. Now, after this, I typically want to buy some HP, and the reason is because the passive for Kotun, his HP is it will allow his shield to be greater and stronger, and this will allow him to stay in battle longer. So after this, either I will buy another Face Breaker, or typically I buy another Face Breaker, Serpentine Pike, and I buy some attack speed. But if I'm having a lot of trouble right here and the enemy team is doing very well, I'll go ahead and start building this item, the Steering Souls of Dragons. I'll go ahead and start building that all the way into the Steering Soul, and the reason is because like I said, that passive, we need that HP, plus the cooldown is just a bonus. So we'll go ahead and finish off the Steering Souls of Dragons. After that, I typically go ahead and finish off the Watcher's Whisper here, and this item is what makes this build so perfect. So because Kotun has a problem with people getting away from him, so every 2 seconds this he hits somebody with the additional 80% attack speed, slowing them 40% and keeping it close to him to where he can do damage until his cooldown is ready for him to jump and use his first skill, Crushing Blow, again. So after that, I always finish off with the longbow, and the reason this is what is another awesome pertinent about this build is the longbow plus the reduction from the Jade Axe is just a bonus in defensive piercing through the enemy. Usually if you have a carry, he's not going to last 5, or she's not going to last 5-6 seconds, or if that, if she's really tanky. So we do that. After this, I typically want to maximize my damage with the Iron Claymore and finish off my boots with Boots of Savage. But at the end build, if you're having a little bit more trouble and you need some mage defense, usually I sell these boots off at this point, and I'll start buying another defensive item such as, Hades are blinding ages. I really like using blinding ages, especially if I have an AD carry such as Elf, Arya, that's doing a lot of damage to all my enemies with their attack speed. This, when activated, reduces the attack speed by 50%. It's phenomenal with Kotun. Also, if I'm going to do some mage defense, I really like using the Dolvine shield here. This is a big plus for him. Plus, it procs well with the Steering Souls of Dragons, giving me that extra HP, as you all know. And then I'll typically finish off my King Killer, getting that awesome critical rate that we all love. So guys, gals, please tell me what you thought about this build. Write me down in the comments. Of course, I'll have the recommended tablets right after this, and as always, the recommended talents will be in the description below. I'll have 2 sets, one for more of a support fighter if you want a little bit extra healing ability, and one for a tanky fighter if you just like to use Kotun more risky in jumping into those team fights. So thanks for watching as always, and I, Destroyer, will see you out in the Battle of Herodon. Destroyer out! Hey guys and gals, I quickly want to go over some tablets that I recommend for Kotun, but first let's go over inscriptions. As you just saw in my in-game build, I like using Kotun more as a physical carry now. A crazy DPS physical carry. So I like using physical attack inscriptions as well as extra critical damage, which works awesomely with maximizing our damage and just getting that critical rate awesomely with the King Killer and such like that. So the tablets I really recommend. The Desire tablet was one of my #1 recommendations, especially on any map. If you use it on any map, this is an awesome tablet for him because maximizes that damage. Just that's it, maximizes the damage. After that, I really like using the tablet of Desecration, especially on 5s maps, so Rift map or Train. I do not recommend this tablet as much on 3s because you're not going to get a total of 360 unless it goes into late game, and he gets kind of vulnerable, so you won't fully be able to optimize this tablet. Another one that I typically really like using, especially on 5s, is the tablet of Bloodlust, of course. Now this tablet, with any enemy around me or hero per se, whether they're an enemy or a friend or foe, this tablet allows me to increase my damage by 3%, maximizing at 27.5%. This is awesome tablet to use. Now, another one that I really love using as a defensive tablet is the Courage tablet with him, because there's so many heroes out right now that either have a really good stun or a silence, and there's a lot of people using them and they're good in team fights. So this is a very highly recommended tablet I like using for him because it reduces damage. Also, I really like the double shield, and since they kind of buffed this a little while ago, the 7-second shield with Kotun, so you will have your regular Kotun shield passive, and then this shield will pop up when you get below 20%. The protective is awesome. Now, one other tablet that I love recommending, of course, on all of my heroes, especially if you're going into a GVG or such, is the tablet of assistance. Of course, enough said. So guys and gals, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and shoot me a comment. Tell me how I did. Tell me what you think of the build and such, and I'll see you out in the Battle of Herodon. Destroyer out.